Hello, I'm gonna be interviewing my mom. Say your name.
Dion Curtis.
I'm just gonna be asking a few questions about like your life, how you are now, and then your future. If you don't feel comfortable answering any question, you can just tell me to move on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The first two questions is gonna be about your early life. All right.
All right.
All right. First question: what is your favorite memory from when you were young?
Um.
You want me to answer? Ask another one.
Well, there used to be this, um, like this park in Cleveland, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the name of it, but you could go there and you could ride horses and swim in a lake, and then they had a pool, and then they had. It was just like a really big park. Um, So I remember that we used to load up in the back of my father's truck because during that time you could, they didn't care about safety. So everybody wanted to ride in the back of the truck. And so we would get in the back of the truck and drive however far it was to get to Cleveland. It wasn't that far.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, it was something lakes. But yeah, I just remember it wasn't the park itself that was the most fun. It was the ride in the back of the truck was
Yeah.
was pretty fun.
Okay. The next question is, do your family have any? Did your family have any unique traditions at that time?
Any what?
Unique traditions at that time?
No.
No. Okay. Uh, Next set of questions is going to be about background.
Okay.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Um, that I didn't need to look outward for support.
Mm-hmm.
I should have just looked inward because looking outward and I didn't get it. I was really um, I don't want to say held back, but I didn't have the support system.
Okay.
Kind of like, how when you, like if you're on a team or something and you look out in the audience and you see your family,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that.
Okay.
So, mm,
Okay.
yeah.
The next question is, what's something surprising about yourself?
Um, that I'm goofy. How you say it?
Okay. Then the next set of questions is about beliefs and values.
Okay.
What is the most important lesson you've learned about life so far?
That people can't make me happy. I can only obtain happiness by setting boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I set those boundaries, as long as those boundaries are not a wall, um, then I can find happiness. And my happiness is pretty much found within.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have any beliefs or ideas that guide you?
Well, my peace guides me. It gives me discernment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes when you've been through like a chaotic life, you search for people and you search for situations that are not toxic and you prefer peace. So when you meet new people or you get a new environment, you immediately can feel when it's going to be toxic.
Mm-hmm.
That's your discernment as well. So you avoid those people and those situations and those atmospheres so that you can maintain that level of peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next set of questions is about interests and passions.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a song, movie, or book that you love?
Oh, there's a my favorite song in the entire world. It's called Wildflower by New Birth.
Okay.
And
What is it about?
it is about um, a woman who like is pretty much misunderstood, and a guy is like watching her from a distance, and he kind of sees what she's about.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls her a wildflower because she's beautiful. She's in the wild. She is pretty free spirited, but because she's out like in the wild, many people don't really get to notice her
Yeah.
because she's like in her own space. But he notices her. He notices how beautiful she is. Inner wise, he's not saying she's beautiful because she's physically beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that I see this flower across this field that's wild, and it's growing regardless of like the rain and the storms and stuff like that. So.
Okay. And then, what are some of your favorite hobbies or activities?
Some of my favorite hobbies, I guess, I like reading. I like writing.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing with the cats, plural. I like the coloring books and stuff that I've gotten.
Okay.
I like listening to podcasts. I haven't done my outdoorsy stuff that I used to love to do, so I plan on getting back to that. Like going to the beach more, driving to the beach, and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay. And then, next set of questions is about education and career.
Okay.
What was your first job, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, my first job was at Astroworld. I worked in Camelot.
What's that?
Camelot. It was like this. Okay, Astroworld. The reason they called it a world, it was because it was different parts of the world. You had Americana, which was like the people would wear these gingham dresses and cowboy hats, and then you had Camelot, and that's where it would be more like Old English.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the ride Excalibur was. They had one that was really offensive. I can't think of the name of it, but it was pretty much Asian
Mm-hmm.
oriented,
Yeah.
and I want to say it was called like, I don't want to say what it was called, but it was offensive. It would be so offensive right now.
Okay.
And they had different parts of it. So, what I learned, I met people from all over the city of Houston. So teenagers all over the city of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to just have fun. Like, it was really fun. I got to talk to different people. I would help people cheat on the games because the guy would try to come and get this big fluffy, and I know he wouldn't get it. It was always the guy trying to impress his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I would always help them cheat so he can get the big fluffy, and the girl is like, oh my god, and he feels like super good because he thinks he got it. He really didn't get it. I cheated. So yeah, I just learned I like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, can you share your favorite school memory?
Is that high school, college, or?
Just any.
Well, in 6th grade, they had. This was a time when Kleiner Intermediate had money, but in 6th grade they had a spring festival, and they had rides, and they had a DJ, and they had popcorn, and they had games set up. It looked like a big giant carnival in the back of the school.
Yeah.
And I just remember going out there and just having the greatest time. So.
Oh, that must have been nice.
That was a lot of fun, and it was well deserved. And it was from 1 to 4. I think school ended at 3:50 or something, 4:10 something. Yeah. But it was for hours, so it wasn't just for 30 minutes. And it was the entire school that was out there.
Yeah, we definitely didn't get that when I went to Kleiner Intermediate.
Yeah, that's when they had money.
Okay. Next set of questions is about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
How do you show thanks or appreciation?
In relationships?
Yeah.
My love language in both personal and familiar relationships is pretty much acts of service.
Mm-hmm.
I try to show in different ways, kind of like I'll notice, okay, like not hypothetically, but this really happened. Like I noticed that in our Prime cart,
Mm-hmm.
you had this one particular face, this
Face mask.
face mask that you wanted, and I know you have been watching it for a while because of the pricing. But then when I found it out at a cheaper place, I went ahead and got it because I had been noticing things like that. So I find like mine is acts of service, just replacing things that I think that y'all need, and like if I'm out and y'all are like, hey, can you stop? Or I'll call and ask if y'all need me to stop or anything. So acts of service is my love language.
Okay. And thanks for the face masks. I needed those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
You're welcome.
how have your friendships changed over time?
Ooh. Well, when I was younger, I was super, super popular.
Mm-hmm.
You guys none of that. Like I was like super popular. It became small. So what went from a group of like maybe 20 people, eventually like when college age 20, 21, 22 hit, a lot of those people began to show signs of jealousy, or their personalities weren't meshing with mine anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it's shrunk down from that point. So from my early 20s up until now, I had to pretty much get rid of a lot of friends that I was close with, because again, it wasn't saying that they were bad people, but the direction I was going in and the direction they were going in were different. And the friends that I have in my circle group now are very supportive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a community with them.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the last set of questions. It's about future aspirations.
Okay.
What's something important you've learned overall?
About life in general.
Yeah.
That material, the hustle mentality that people have.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was working those 4 jobs and just doing all of that, it doesn't matter how social media tries to relate to people that they should have money, they should be 21 and rich,
Yeah.
or they should be having a car that costs $100,000 by age of 25. They should be in this high rise at 23. It's bullshit. It's not real. It's not real. I would tell. I mean, when I look at life, I would tell people that it's really about enjoying the day, like going outside, seeing the birds, smelling the grass, the wind, because that's the only thing that's going to matter in the end. When you get to an age and you get older, people are not going to remember, oh, she had a beautiful car.
Mm-hmm.
She had a really nice purse. They're going to be like, yeah, she was really sweet. She was really nice. And they're going to have memories of you. So I think you should make memories and make that the main goal, instead of just focusing on like, I need to be rich and I need to have this and I have that, because it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the last question. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Legacy. I haven't thought about that. I think I want y'all to have fun with the people around y'all.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide that you want to have kids, or just have a friend group that people remember you for being kind and sweet and having boundaries, and the way you made them feel, So I guess I want y'all to, like, when y'all think of me when I'm gone, that y'all think like, man, she was an amazing mother.
Mm-hmm.
she had her ways. But overall, it was like she was goofy, and she was like, she gave me experiences that, like, I'm sure my other friends didn't get.
Yeah.
But I don't have like a legacy of like, I want y'all to, you know, I'm gonna leave my multi-billionaire company down to y'all.
Yeah.
It would be ideal, you know, if I won the lottery, of course. But, you know, I haven't too much really thought about it.
That's okay.
I think it's, in the end, I think it's for y'all to determine what my legacy was. If that makes sense.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's end the questions. Thank you for helping me with this assignment.
You're welcome.